Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to throw out the Haven Lifeline to Reddit because, OG, you pointed us toward the Wall Street Bets Forum and this person who says, last hurrah before turning to professional help. Hi, guys. I'm a 22-year-old that screwed up big time. The person writes, I need help figuring out what I should do about this tax liability predicament that I find myself in. Let me take you on a journey of my bad personal decisions of the past 2 years. My first mess up was discovering options in April of 2020. My first mistake, OG, discovering options. When stonks only went up, I put in hours to become acquainted with market terminology and studied option strats and stocks strats. Of course, in the beginning, it was a fun roller coaster. Ultimately, I ended up doubling my 5K account before I popped the question to the parents, can I trade your money?
So it was $5,000 account doubled to 10. Like I doubled it. I got this. I doubled it once in a hugely up market.
This is safe. Little did I know this jump would ruin my health and wealth. In November 2020, I'd experienced massive loss and was down $50,000 on our principal. Then I found out about SPAC investing and shot up $150,000 before the end of 2020. I was pumped. I paid taxes the following year and all was good. Early in 2021, I hit it big on GME and more SPACs and made $200,000 in an account still in my name. I then sold and transferred all that money over into an account in my parents' name. This was my biggest mistake. Then came the crash of SPAC and popular growth stocks that cheap retail investors like myself scooped up. Long story short, my parents' account ended minus $300,000 in 2021. What was the stock market up in 2021, OG?
27%.
But the original account in my name is listed up $200,000 on the year. I can't file jointly with my parents, so I don't know how to effectively file so that the IRS considers my family's trading account joint. In other words, how do I avoid this huge tax bill that I can't afford? I'm an unemployed recent college graduate who's already managed to ruin his life. I'd really appreciate any input as I'm really feeling the implications of my actions. Shame me, console me, advise me, notice me, internet. Please help. Man, I'm so, we'll say screwed. Not what he says. I can't believe I'd be on a forum like this.
It's like one of those old school letters that you used to read. I never thought this would happen to me, but there I was at a diner, and
all of a sudden, the tax person is sitting across from me.
So going, hey, let's just kind of summarize what he did here. So he had a trading account, presumably a regular brokerage account, took mom and dad's money, put it in his account. It went up a whole bunch. Then he sold it out. So his brokerage account shows plus $200K on the year. Sold it out, put it in mom and dad's name, has a $300,000 loss on the year. So mom and dad have a $300,000 account loss on their account. He's got $200K gain on his account. In his mind, it's the same money. What does the IRS think of this? Tough patooties. Yep. I can't see a solution here where you can do what he wants to do, which is like aggregate all the money. Like, well, it was all kind of sort of the same thing, right? He has a gain in his account, and what he wants to do is offset his gain with the loss from the parents' account. I just don't see how that would ever happen.
He's got another problem too, though. Shifting money. I mean, it might not end up being a huge problem, but isn't there some gift tax returns that got to be filed back and forth here too?
Let's write that one. He's so worried about the tax issue, the capital gains. Be like, oh, don't forget your gift tax filing by the end of the year. Also, unless you want it to count against your lifetime gift exemption of $1 million. From what I understand on what I've been told from some attorneys here on the gift tax is that there's no statute of limitations on filing a gift tax return. So technically, he could wait until the end to file a gift tax return from this year.
That's good. But just don't forget to do it.
Yeah. But you're right. It's not as simple as, it's like when people say, hey, I want to help my kids out with buying their house. How do I give them $100K? It's like, well, you really can't. I mean, you can, but you have to pay taxes on it, or you have to account for it somehow. The limit's 16,000 this year, so you can do 32. You know, if you're married, you can do 64 if your kid's married. You know, everybody gives everybody 16,000, but that's an issue I hadn't thought about on the gifting side. So yeah, he's got to come up with 20%, $40,000 out of an account that's got negative $300K in it. Hey, mom and dad, great news. The account that I gave you, I've lost $300,000 in. I also need to sell $40K to pay my tax bill. But good news, you get to carry forward negative $3,000 for the next 100 years on your tax returns. So
I think there's a reason. I think there's a reason when you're trading. Well, there's several reasons why you trade with very little money. But one of the reasons you trade with very little money are all these implications, all these little things. Like you can make small mistakes. Imagine if he just stuck with the 5,000, doubled it to 10, and just made the little mistakes with this much smaller account. Still would have had maybe some problems. Well, not the back and forth problem of exchanging ownership of stocks.
Yeah.
But I think that you make so many bad moves when you first start, especially active trading. You make so many dumb moves and so many mistakes, which is a great reason to start with very little money.
Turns out he's not quite the Gordon Gekko he thought he was.
No, but hey, he discovered SPACs and made crap loads of money.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know of a way to solve this. Can you think of one?
No, but I will say this. There is something in active trading to the idea of momentum trading. I mean, plenty of traders have found money, but I'll tell you what's essential for a momentum trader. Because what this guy got was the downside, OG, of momentum, which is the momentum at some point goes away.
Yep.
So if you're a momentum trader, you have to have an exit strategy. If you're a momentum trader without an exit strategy, you're just a roller coaster rider, right? You're trading the hot stuff, which at some point is going to revert to the mean.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're looking at buying individual stocks, you have to recognize the value, the way that you value that cash flow, right? Basically, what are you buying when you buy an individual company? You're buying the future profits, right? That's what you're saying. You're saying, I think that this thing's going to profit into the future. So the other day, Facebook had a huge decline because their CFO
monster decline
said, hey, I think we're not going to make $10 billion next year, where there's a $10 billion cost coming because of the way that the iPhone's privacy settings are. What does that do? And
because they're investing so much money too in the metaverse.
Sure. But it affects your profit, right? So then you say, okay, well, that's going to affect the cash flow of the operation. It's going to affect the profit in the future. Therefore, the price of this stock is not worth what it was yesterday when I didn't know that you were going to spend an extra $10 billion, you know? And so if you're looking at the ubiquitous meme stocks, it is all momentum, and you're just playing the greater fool theory. No one in their right mind looked at cinema company AMC and said, this is where the money is. You know, no one's been to any of these places in 18 months, but damn it, they're definitely going to go up.
I am fairly certain that $20 popcorn is where we're headed.
Yeah, exactly. This is exactly where the momentum was the thing. That was the thing. It was the only thing that it could have possibly been with some of those things. And anything that's a hot commodity, whether it's Bitcoin or SPACs or meme stocks or whatever it is, you are quite literally playing the greater fool theory. I hope there's a greater fool than me when I go to sell this, you know. And there was an article I read in the Wall Street Journal about, and we talked about on the show, who actually made all the money, right, on the meme stocks. Yeah, some retail guys.
Yeah, well, and even if they didn't make money, if they lost money, all they did was encourage you to do this more.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is Vegas's goal.
Uh-huh.
Just keep the trading alive.
Yep.
Yeah. So
sucks for this dude.
It does. And I got to say this, I would never post that in a million years. Like, I would not post that to Wall Street Bets, but good on them for doing it. Cause I think so many people can learn from this dude's mistake. Like, so many people can learn from their mistake. So hooray to them for having the guts to get out there and write this stuff down. Obviously they're still anonymous, but I still wouldn't write it. I still would. It wouldn't have been me.
Sucks.
So yeah, good good on them for helping us all learn. Hey, if you've got a question directly for us, don't post it to Wall Street Bets. Just send us an email, or a voicemail rather, stackingbenjamins.com/voicemail. And different than this person, you know what they missed out on? They missed out on the Stacking Benjamins t-shirt. That's what they missed out on. Yeah, they couldn't do that because they posted to Wall Street Bets instead of here. So their loss. But our gain, stackingbenjamins.com/voicemail for that.